Hey everyone, welcome to yet another great, fun, and exciting episode of What Did I Miss? This is for anyone who maybe was unable to make it to class and or was there and just wants another refresher on what we talked about. Today we're going to be talking about an introduction to multiplication. Right? This is kind of where we started. So I want to just begin with some multiplication basics. I want to keep in mind that really multiplication is just another way in which we count. It really is. It's another way in which we count. All right, that's a silly looking star. And if we keep that in mind, the reality is in multiplication in many cases is really this concept of skip counting. And so we create these number sentences and these math facts, if you will, to kind of help us keep track of these things. Multiplication can be shown in many ways. That's another thing we'll kind of talk about today. It has symbols, and I'll kind of walk through all of this. We'll spiral around to a lot of this stuff, so don't panic if right away you're like, what, huh? But if we're gonna show multiplication, right, out here, this is 3, and we can say times 5. This could mean 3 groups of 5, and we'll talk about that, or an array of 3 by 5, and so on and so forth. But really what I want to focus on are these symbols we can use. So this is one form of a multiplication sentence. It's kind of, or multiplication symbol, excuse me. It's kind of the beginning. Later, as we become more advanced with multiplication, we like to use the star. And there's reasoning for this, and you'll see this as you move along into 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. And we also can show multiplication with a dot. So all 3 of these are very acceptable ways. And I think it's really important in all reality to know that right away. Often we think, oh, we're just going to teach one symbol when you're in 3rd grade. And then we're going to introduce a new symbol in 4th grade. But I really do think that it's really good to know all 3 of them right away. So we can show multiplication with this, what we can call just like an X. We can do it with the star, which is really close to the X, but with some more slashes, or we can just do it with a little dot that's floating around in between. So there's one thing I kind of want to bring into, right? So now if we go back and let's explore this idea that again, multiplication is just another form of counting. It's a way of skip counting. And I'm just going to go ahead and play with this sentence we already have. So we have 3 times 5. Now I said this can mean many things. One, we could look at this as, let's change colors for this, as repeated addition, because that's really what this is, right? We're talking about 3 5 times. So that would be 3. There's 1 3. 3. There's 2 3s. 3. There's 3 3s. 3. There's 4 3s. 3, there's my 5th 3, right? So 3 5 times. And really then that is the whole idea of just adding these together. So what's cool about this is the greatness of doubles facts, because if I wanted to solve 3 times 5, if I wanted to know the product, it's the term we use for the answer to a multiplication problem. We wanted to find the product here. I would just say, oh, okay, well, 3 plus 3 is 6, doubles facts. 3 plus 3 is 6, doubles facts. And then I got another 3 hanging out. So I use these, and these. 6 plus 6, doubles facts, plus 3. It's going to get me 15. And 3 times 5, or 3 5 times, is 15. So that's one way we can think about this repeated addition concept. We can also look at this repeated addition. We can look at it in terms of skip counting. It's really the same concept, right? I'm gonna keep the same multiplication sentence to this. So 3 times 5. So if we think, again, I said skip counting, that'd be 3 5 times. Well, that means we're counting by 3s. We're gonna do it 5 times. 3, 6, 9. This is me counting by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And you can see, again, I did it 5 times. Right? Here's the first time I did it, second time I counted, third time I counted, fourth time I counted, and the fifth time I've counted. So 3 times 5 is 15. We could also look at it the other way. We could reverse this concept, and we'll talk a lot about that this year, and say, okay, well, I could also look at it the other way. I could say 5 times 3, and that would just mean I'm counting by 5s 3 times. So look at this. We go 5, 10, 15, and there you have it. It's the same answer, and that's what's the cool thing. We'll talk about that. It's commutative property of multiplication. It doesn't matter the order, you're going to get to the same answer. But again, you can see I counted 1, 2, 3 times by 5. So we can definitely think about this idea of a repeated addition sentence, and then we can also talk about like skip counting. That's kind of what we're doing here. We can go even further into this. This is what's so fun about multiplication. Like I said, it's just a form of counting. We're taking care of groups of things. So we could look at this as making, whoa, that's an E, trust me, equal groups, right? And again, I'm just gonna keep using the same multiplication sentence. And, oh, let's mix up the symbol since I said we can. Let's do the star, 3 times 5. What did we do last time? Oh yeah, we were using the dots. So 3 times 5. So what that could be is thinking about 3 groups, right? Equal groups, 3 groups of 5. I'm gonna kind of write that out as a sentence. That would be like 3 groups of 5. So if I thought about that sentence, 3 groups, I could draw out 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and then it was groups of 5. So in each one of these, I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, you could look at this anyway. Like if these were digits, it would be repeated addition. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 5 equals 15. Or you could skip count it, 5, 10, 15. You're going to get 15 again. So this is another way to model it, modeling it in equal groups. And like I said, we could flip-flop it, right? Instead of saying 3 groups of 5, I could also say 5 groups of 3. So I'm going to try to squeeze that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. But this time there's only 3 in each one. And again, I could skip count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So once again, we're still finding out in all this, 3 times 5 is going to get me to 15. Now, another way we can think about multiplication, so let's kind of like play around. I want to jump back a little bit. So we talked about this idea of repeated addition, right? And we'll review these more and more, so don't worry. I could also take it and think about skip counting, or I could take it and think these equal groups. Another way we can talk about this is arrays. And this is something you talk about a lot with your math and your other classes prior to all of this. And remember, the concept of an array is the idea that we have rows that go right to left, and then we have columns that go up and down. So when we think about this concept and going back to 3 times 5, right? Or we can write it as 3 times 5, or we can write it as 3 times 5. Those all say the same thing. But when we think about this idea of 3 times 5, it's the same concept of like equal groups. I could say I have 3 rows. So I'm gonna start to build 3 rows. And I'll use some circles for that. So like 1, 2, 3, right? Do you see this? So here's my 3 rows. And in each row, there's 5. So here's 1 already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can show this as an array this way. So I have 5, right? I have 5 columns going up and down, and I have 3 rows. And again, this tells me I could, however you want to do this, should we skip count it? Like this is 5, 10, 15. So again, 3 times 5 gets me 15. We could even skip count looking at the columns. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Again, 3 times 5 is giving me 15. So these are kind of the things that we're really playing around with. This idea that we can have repeated addition. We can do arrays. We can skip count. And we can do this concept of like an equal group. So let's play with all that real quick. We only have like another minute or so left in our video. So let's play with all of this. Let's do one more multiplication sentence. This time I'm going to do 4 times 2. Okay, so let's look at them in all aspects. First, repeated addition. That means I'm taking 4 and I'm writing it 2 times. So that would be 4 plus 4. Or it could be that I'm taking 2 and I'm writing it 4 times. So that could be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Now, if we do this work, doubles facts 2 plus 2, or excuse me, 4 plus 4 is 8. Here, doubles facts 4, 4, again, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8. We find out that 4 times 2 equals 8. And we did so using this concept here of repeated addition. Okay, let's check the next one. We now could do 2 times 4, and let's do that as an array. So that would mean I'd have 2 rows, 1, 2, and 4 in each one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see, whoa, there's 2 on here, there's 4 on here. Again, I could skip count them, 2, 4, 6, 8, which tells me once again, 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So I can show it as that array. And then finally, let's say 4 times 2. I'll put it the other way, but we know it will still get us the same thing. We can have 4 groups of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if I just skip count that out, I'll see I have 2, 2, 2, 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, and 8. So 4 times 2 is 8. All right. We're going to wrap that up now. This is just an introduction to get you thinking and supporting in all the work that we've been doing. So again, as always, please practice that math norm. Keep asking questions until they make sense and keep up the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you.